Nathan Reed stood inside the grand hall of the Arayon Unity Council. The room was bright, made of smooth silver walls and glowing lights. Every corner was clean and perfect, just like everything in space seemed to be. It was Nathan's first time attending the council as Earth's ambassador. He had practiced for weeks, but nothing could prepare him for this. Around him sat leaders from 10 different alien species. Some looked like living crystals, others like floating jellyfish, and one group wore heavy suits to protect them from the atmosphere. Nathan was the only human there. He tried not to sweat. Beside him stood Commander Velistar, a tall alien from the Zathari matronate. Her body shimmered like glass, and her 4 glowing eyes moved slowly as she watched everything. Her face showed no emotion. She was respected by everyone in the council. Nathan had heard she once fought off a pirate fleet alone. Nathan smiled and leaned toward her. "This is fun, huh?" he whispered, trying to break the tension. Velis didn't reply. She simply blinked her lower set of eyes. Nathan laughed nervously. The council was discussing a new peace agreement between 2 member races. The talk had gone on for hours, and Nathan, feeling tired and trying to lighten the mood, decided to make a joke. "Well," he said, loud enough for the table to hear, "if we really want peace between species, maybe Commander Velis and I should have kids together." For a moment, everything stopped. The floating lights dimmed slightly. The jellyfish-like ambassador dropped its cup. A creature with 12 eyes stared at him in shock. But the worst reaction came from Velis. She made a strange sound, like a cough, and a gasp. Then she started choking. Her clear skin turned cloudy blue. She reached for her throat and looked horrified. Nathan's eyes widened. "Oh no, are you okay? Do you need help?" A medical drone flew toward her, but she waved it away and slowly calmed down. She took a long breath and glared at Nathan. Her voice was cold as ice. "Human," she said. "Do you understand what you just said?" Nathan blinked. "It was just a joke," he said. "I didn't mean anything serious." "You proposed a union bond," she said flatly. What?" "To have children with a Zathari," she continued, "is a sacred vow. It means mental bonding, loyalty for life, and full acceptance by our matriarchs. It is not a joke." The room went silent again. Nathan felt like he was melting in his seat. "I didn't know. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to insult." But it was too late. The other ambassadors began to murmur. News of this would travel fast. The supreme speaker of the council, a glowing orb named Tralix, floated forward. "Ambassador Reed, you have made a powerful offer. We will give the Zathari matronate time to consider your proposal." Nathan's mouth fell open. "Wait, what?" "It wasn't a real proposal." Tralix's voice was calm. "Zathari tradition does not allow for jokes in matters of bonding. You may speak with their matriarchs directly." Velis stood tall. "I will take him to our ship. He must answer for this." Nathan sighed and followed her out of the chamber. As soon as the door closed behind them, he whispered, "This day just keeps getting worse." On the Zathari cruiser, everything was dark blue and lit from below. The halls were quiet and the air smelled like clean metal. Nathan walked beside Velis, who had not spoken since they left the council room. "Look, Commander," Nathan said, softly. "I really am sorry. On Earth it's common to joke like that. We didn't know your customs." Velis stopped and turned to face him. "You made me laugh. In front of the council. That has never happened before. I nearly lost breath." "That wasn't my goal," Nathan muttered. She tilted her head. "You embarrassed me. But also you showed courage. Few dare to speak to a Zathari like that." He scratched the back of his head. "It wasn't courage. It was just me being dumb." "Perhaps," she said. "But now we are bound by tradition. The matriarchs will hear of this. They may approve the bond." Nathan nearly tripped. "You mean, actually, having kids?" "Only if both of us agree," she replied. "And survive the trials." "Trials? You will see," she said, simply. As they entered a large chamber filled with glowing crystals and high thrones, Nathan knew one thing for sure. His life had just become much more complicated, and maybe, just maybe, a lot more interesting. Nathan Reed sat alone in the quiet chamber of the Zithari cruiser. The walls glowed softly with blue light, casting strange shadows across the floor. His mind raced with worry. What did Velis mean by trials, and how was he supposed to survive them? The door slid open without a sound. Commander Velis stepped inside. Her crystal-like skin shimmered under the light. She did not smile, but her eyes held a strange calm. "The matriarchs have heard your proposal," she said. "They are not angry. They are curious." Nathan tried to smile but failed. "Curious? That sounds better than angry." Velis nodded. "Still, this is serious. In Zithari culture, words carry power. A spoken bond must be honored." Nathan swallowed hard. "So, what happens now?" "You will face the trial of the warrior," Velis said. "You must live one full day as a Zithari soldier. Survive, learn, show respect." Nathan's eyes widened. "One day? What kind of trial is that?" "A day of combat training, rituals, and tests of endurance," Velis explained. "If you fail, the bond is broken. If you succeed, you earn respect and the chance to continue." Nathan stood feeling nervous but determined. "I don't know anything about fighting." "Few do," Velis said, "but you will try." The next morning, Nathan woke up early. The Zithari cruiser was already alive with activity. Soldiers moved quickly through the halls, their movements smooth and confident. Velis met him in the training chamber, where strange weapons hung on the walls. "Your first lesson, discipline. Watch and learn." Nathan watched as Zithari warriors moved through the chamber, their bodies glowing with energy. They trained with weapons that looked like beams of light, cutting through the air silently. Velis handed Nathan a small weapon. "This is a plasma blade. It is light but powerful. You must control it carefully." Nathan took the blade, feeling its strange energy hum in his hand. He swung it clumsily, missing the target by a long shot. Velis shook her head. "You waste energy. Focus." Nathan tried again. Slowly, the blade moved straighter. He felt sweat on his forehead. For hours, he practiced. Velis watched silently, sometimes correcting his grip or stance. Nathan was exhausted, but he didn't stop. At noon, Nathan was taken to the ritual hall. The room was round with a high ceiling filled with stars painted in glowing paint. Several Zithari elders sat in a circle, their eyes wise and serious. "You will speak the words of unity," Velis said. "A promise to respect the Zithari people and their ways." Nathan nodded, nervous. A tall elder stepped forward and began chanting in a deep voice. The other elders joined in, creating a soft song that filled the room. Nathan repeated the words slowly, trying to match the rhythm. It felt strange but important. He looked at Velis, who nodded approvingly. After the ritual, Nathan was led to a long corridor. "Next, endurance test," Velis said. Nathan followed her into a room filled with soft, glowing stones. "You must meditate here for 1 hour. Focus your mind." Nathan sat cross-legged on the floor. At first his thoughts raced, but as the minutes passed he felt calmer. The soft light made him feel peaceful. When the hour ended, Velis smiled slightly. "You are stronger than you look, human." Nathan smiled back. "Thanks, I think." The final test came in the late afternoon. Nathan and Velis walked to the ship's combat arena. The room was large and open, with glowing barriers around the edges. "Now you face me in combat," Velis said. "A friendly fight to test your skill and courage." Nathan's heart pounded. He raised his plasma blade, shaking. Velis moved, quickly, graceful and powerful. She struck gently but firmly. Nathan tried to block, but he was slow. He fell to the ground twice before managing to hold his blade steady. "Good," Velis said. "You learn quickly." Nathan breathed hard. "I'm not a warrior, I'm just a diplomat." "Today you are both," Velis replied. "This is the way of the Zithari." That night, Nathan sat alone on the observation deck. He looked out at the stars, thinking about the day. He had survived the trials. He had learned a little about Velas's people. Suddenly, Velas appeared beside him. "You have done well," she said quietly. Few humans could have lasted. Nathan looked at her. "I'm glad I didn't embarrass your people too much." Velas smiled for the first time. "You have honor, Nathan Reed. That is rare." Nathan laughed softly. "I guess my mistake wasn't the worst thing after all." Velas nodded. "Perhaps not." The stars stretched endlessly before them. Nathan felt hope growing inside. Maybe this strange journey was just beginning. The morning sun outside the Zathari cruiser cast long blue shadows across the ship's deck. Nathan Reed stood at the edge of the observation window, staring out at the endless stars. He had survived the trials, but the thought of what came next made his heart beat faster. Commander Velastar approached silently behind him. Her crystal skin caught the light, making her look like a statue carved from ice. Nathan turned to face her. "So, what now?" he asked. Velas smiled slightly, a rare and quiet gesture. "Now you learn what it means to be Zathari, to understand my people, to earn your place." Nathan nodded. "I'm ready." For the next few days, Nathan's world changed completely. He woke early every morning for training. Velas showed him how to move with grace and patience, qualities he never thought he would need. "You are clumsy," she said bluntly the first day, watching him trip over his own feet. Nathan laughed. "I'm a human, not a dancer." "Humans are strange," Velas replied, "but not without value." Nathan learned that Zathari warriors were not just fighters. They were protectors of their culture, keepers of ancient knowledge. Every move had meaning. Every word was important. One afternoon, while Nathan was practicing with his plasma blade, an alarm sounded through the ship. Red lights flashed, and the hum of machinery grew louder. "What is it?" Nathan asked, his voice tense. Velas's eyes narrowed. "Unknown ship approaching fast. Possible threat." The two raced to the control room. Aliens from several species were already there, looking worried. On the large screen, a dark ship moved quickly toward the cruiser. "This is the Sarnak Raider," Velas said grimly. "They attack anyone who tries to unite the council." Nathan's heart pounded. "What do we do?" "We prepare to defend," Velas replied. "You will help me." Nathan followed Velas to the armory. She handed him a small, high-tech rifle. "This is not a weapon you can ignore. Learn to use it." Nathan took it carefully. "I'm not a soldier." "You will be," Velas said. "For this fight, and for the future." The raider ship fired first. Bright beams of light struck the cruiser's shields. The whole ship shook. "Move to your stations," Velas commanded. Nathan found his place at a defense turret. His hands trembled as he gripped the controls. "Focus," Velas called from her position nearby. "Watch the patterns. Fire when you see the openings." The battle was intense. Nathan aimed at the raiders' drones, firing carefully. His shots hit targets, but the enemy kept coming. Suddenly, a missile exploded near the turret. The blast threw Nathan to the ground. Pain shot through his arm, but he kept trying. Velas rushed over. "You are hurt. Retreat." Nathan shook his head. "No. We have to protect the council." Velas looked at him with new respect. "You fight like a true Zathari." Together they fought side by side. Velas moved with speed and power, cutting through enemy fighters. Nathan covered her, backfiring with surprising skill. After what felt like hours, the raiders finally retreated. The cruiser was damaged but still strong. Nathan sat down, breathing heavily. Velas stood beside him, placing a hand on his shoulder. "You have done well," she said quietly. "I am proud." Nathan smiled. "I couldn't have done it without you." For the first time, something between them shifted. The tension from before was gone. In its place was a sense of trust, and maybe something more. The next day, Nathan and Velas met with the Zathari matriarchs. The elders sat in their high seats, watching the two with careful eyes. "The human has proven courage," the oldest matriarch said. He has survived the trials and defended our people, Velis added. Nathan Reed respects our culture and shows honor. The matriarchs whispered among themselves, then spoke again. We will allow the bond to proceed, the leader said. But with great caution, the union must be chosen freely by both. Nathan bowed deeply. Thank you, I will not fail. Velis's eyes met his. Nor will I. Later, Nathan and Velis walked together through the cruiser's garden, a quiet space filled with glowing plants and soft sounds. It was the first time they had shared a peaceful moment. Tell me about Earth, Velis said, curious. Nathan smiled. It's full of people like me. Sometimes messy, sometimes brave, always hopeful. And you think we can be a part of that? We have to be, Nathan said. For peace, for the future. Velis looked at the stars. It will not be easy. Many will oppose this bond. Nathan nodded. Then we'll face them together. As the sun set over the cruiser, Nathan felt something he hadn't expected. Hope. The journey was only beginning, but he knew one thing for sure. No matter how different they were, humans and Zathari could find common ground. Together they might change the galaxy, and maybe, just maybe, have kids after all. The halls of the Iraean Unity Council buzzed with tension. News of the possible human-Zathari bond had spread like wildfire across the galaxy. Some species whispered in fear, while others watched with curiosity. But for Nathan Reed and Commander Velistar, the challenge was only beginning. In a large laboratory aboard the Unity flagship, Nathan stood beside Dr. Lyra, a brilliant xenobiologist from the Valdari species. Her skin shimmered faintly purple, and her many eyes blinked rapidly as she examined complex data on a glowing screen. Human and Zathari genetic compatibility. It's unusual, Dr. Lyra said, turning to Nathan. Your species are very different, but there is a possibility, if advanced biofusion technology is used, to create a hybrid child. Nathan's eyes widened. Hybrid? You mean kids? Dr. Lyra nodded. With medical help, yes. It would be the first of its kind in recorded history. Nathan felt a mixture of excitement and fear. What do others think? Dr. Lyra sighed. Some see it as a miracle, a new step toward unity. Others call it unnatural, dangerous. There is much debate. Later, Nathan and Velis met with the council's representatives. The chamber was filled with voices, some angry, some hopeful. The two high-speaker Tralix floated above the crowd. The idea of a human-Zathari union has sparked intense discussion. The council must decide if this bond can proceed. Nathan stepped forward. I know this is new and difficult, but if we can build something together, we can show the galaxy what cooperation really means. Velis's voice rang clear. Our bond is not a threat. It is a choice, a hope for peace. Still, not everyone agreed. The representative from the Krill Dominion, a fierce insectoid species, spoke sharply. This union challenges the natural order. It could bring disaster. The crowd murmured, tension rising. Days passed as debates continued. Nathan and Velis worked tirelessly, answering questions, sharing stories of their training and the battle they fought together. Slowly, some voices softened. One night, Nathan found Velis on the observation deck. She looked out at the stars, her expression thoughtful. The council's decisions weigh heavily, she said. Nathan joined her. We can't control what others think. We can only be honest. Velis nodded and prepared for what comes next. Then, the council announced a trial period for the union. Nathan and Velis would live openly as bonded partners. Their actions would be watched closely. It was a test not only of biology, but of trust. To help, the council provided advanced biofusion technology, a delicate process designed to allow the genetic material of two very different species to combine safely. It was still experimental, but the hope was strong. Nathan felt nervous as the day of the first biofusion trial approached. In a sterile room filled with soft lights and humming machines, he held Velis's hand. We can do this, he said. Together. Velis squeezed his hand. For the future. The scientist began the process. Nathan felt warmth spread through his body, a gentle energy unlike anything he had known. Time passed slowly. Finally, the procedure ended. Both Nathan and Velis were exhausted, but unharmed. Dr. Lyra smiled. The first step is complete. The process was successful. Word of the trial spread quickly. The galaxy watched as Nathan and Velis continued their duties while living openly as partners. Some sent messages of support. Others sent warnings. Despite the pressure, Nathan and Velis grew closer. They shared quiet moments, learning from each other's worlds. One evening, Nathan asked, "What will our child be like?" Velis smiled softly. "Strong, curious, and brave. Like you." Nathan laughed. "I hope they have your grace." They both looked at the stars, imagining a new generation born from hope and courage. But challenges remained. Opposition forces grew louder. Xenophobic groups threatened to break the council's unity. Nathan and Velis knew their bond was more than personal. It was a symbol, a chance to prove that differences could be overcome. Together, they prepared to face whatever came next. The Iraean Unity Council faced its darkest hour. A powerful group of xenophobic rebels known as the Cinder Claw launched a sudden attack on the flagship. They opposed any union between different species and wanted to break the fragile peace that Nathan Reed and Commander Velistar had come to symbolize. Sirens blared through the halls. Red lights flashed wildly. Nathan was at the command center staring at the blinking map that showed enemy ships surrounding the cruiser. Velis appeared beside him, her crystal skin glowing with determination. "They want to destroy everything we've worked for." Nathan clenched his fists. "Then we'll stop them." The flagship's crew rushed to battle stations. Humans, Zathari, and other species worked side by side, preparing defenses and weapons. Nathan and Velis stood together. On the bridge, Nathan held his plasma blade ready for close combat. Velis activated her energy shield, a shimmering barrier of light. The first wave of Sindarclaw fighters attacked with speed and aggression. Laser blasts lit the dark space outside the ship. Velis moved swiftly, cutting through enemy fighters with grace and power. Nathan covered her back, firing carefully from his turret. They fought like one being, their actions perfectly timed. Inside the ship, chaos raged. Explosions shook the walls and smoke filled the corridors. Nathan heard a call on his communicator. "Bridge under attack, intruders on board." Without hesitation, Nathan and Velis rushed toward the bridge entrance. There, they found a group of Cinder warriors trying to break through. Velis raised her shield, blocking their weapons. Nathan swung his plasma blade, forcing them back. One attacker lunged at Nathan, but Velis intercepted with a powerful strike. Together, they pushed the intruders away and sealed the doors. The battle lasted for hours. The Cinder Claw were relentless, but the Unity Council crew was stronger. They fought for more than just survival. They fought for hope. At last, the enemy retreated, their ships falling back into the darkness of space. Nathan wiped sweat from his brow. "We did it," Velis nodded. "But this is only the beginning." In the quiet after the battle, Nathan and Velis stood on the observation deck. The stars seemed brighter, full of promise. Velis looked at Nathan. "You have changed my view of humans." Nathan smiled. "And you've shown me the strength of the Zathari." They reached out and took each other's hands. Months later, news came that the biofusion trials were successful. The first human Zathari child was growing safely inside Velis. The council celebrated the historic moment. Leaders from many species sent messages of congratulations and hope. Nathan and Velis held their child's small hand for the first time. The baby's skin was a soft mix of human warmth and Zathari glow. "This child is a symbol," Nathan said, softly, "of unity, courage, and a future where differences don't divide us." Velis smiled proudly. "Our children will grow up knowing peace is possible." The story of Nathan and Velis spread across the galaxy. It became a legend told in many languages, a story of laughter, mistakes, bravery, and love. And it all began with a joke. "Let's have kids," he said. And the alien woman nearly choked from laughing. "Would you like me to help you with anything else, such as expanding a part into scenes, writing dialogue, or creating character backstories?"